don't think it's a giant secret to realize that I am not the biggest person that likes to play WoW. I do not necessarily care too much for its story, nor do I care about the wishing system that I don't really give two shits about. Like, how many times have I tried to pull for a character, I end up not getting that damn character. But oh, look at that. The game that people just straight up, did I say people twice? The game that people shit on when it comes down to wishing, I somehow get the character I want more times than not. Like, that's just genuinely how it is. And the characters I basically missed is never the important all-forsaking character I've been yearning for. And that's just basically how it is, right? Despite everything, I still go back to Genshin, even if Wuthering Waves is objectively a better game, even if the combat and everything about it is absolutely T to the absolute T. It's still not necessarily something I'm just gonna want to jump back into. Hell, I deleted it for a month. And the only reason I came back is solely because there's nothing else to really sit there and play. When I was doing the survey of asking, yo, will you basically come back to play full time, I said unlikely, because the real reason why I'm back is, again, because there's nothing else, and I'm really waiting on Neverness to Everness and Atlanta or Silver Palace. Whatever game comes out next I have a giant interest in, I want to play those, and that's essentially all I really want to do. That's all I really want to sink my teeth into when it comes down to certain games. I don't really care too much about playing, Wuthering Waves that hard, and I think I made that point very clear when it comes down to it. But there is things that I feel like I need to go back and kind of change up on my own self. There was one thing I did say that I was like, oh, Wuthering Waves is like a very big, high level achieving game that is actually really dang good in that area. Like, they know how to achieve the absolute impossible. And I gave it credit for that. And now I'm kind of here to say, yeah, I'm gonna basically say it's its own detriment. I'm gonna list out a ton of things here, but I'm also gonna just straight up be honest of how I feel about the game now that I really see it in this new light. Is Wuthering Waves an overachiever of a game? And Genshin Impact basically is like the underachiever of games? I would say so. Essentially, when you look at something like Wuthering Waves with its fast ass fighting, with its cool ass animations for attacks that basically even makes me be like, yeah, you know what, I see the glaze here, I understand it, right? I get it, I absolutely understand. And with some of these animations, I'm like, damn, if Genshin were to implement some of these stuff, boy, this shit will be a banger of an absolute game. I do feel that to an absolute T. But it brings in one giant problem that I feel like makes Wuthering Waves feel like it's for the whales and the high spenders, or people that just spend money on the game entirely, is that it makes you feel like you need every single damn character. Because Wuthering Waves has a Zenless problem, which is why I like to call the no 4-star problem. Essentially, they basically have all these 5-star characters and not a 4-star in sight. Yeah, you have old ass 4-stars, but we need new 4-stars. We don't get any of those when it comes down to it, and it feels like a rarity when you actually do see a true 4-star, right? That is literally how it is. Like, no, real honesty, when was the last time that we really seen a 4-star character come through and legit be advertised as a 4-star character? We don't get any of that. Every character is a 5-star for some damn reason, and that is making you want to basically go out and pull for every single character, even though some of those 4-stars could very much be some of the 5-stars that they could just switch up on, right? I could see it being a Cantarella. Like, let's be honest, yeah, sure, Cantarella is about baddest as fuck, like, she looked good as shit, I'll be real, but also at the very same time, I can also see her elements of gameplay being 4-star. Shorekeeper could very much be a 4-star character. She's great, but honestly, I could also see that. If they were going to go for the support role like they did with Lupa, you could also make her 4-star. Not saying that Lupa deserves a 4-star, she absolutely deserves 5, but when it comes down to it though, I could see that. The lack of getting people in the gate with characters that they want to use is very, very small. Free to play is just not necessarily a way to play Wuthering Waves whatsoever, at least in my damn brain, right? Because yeah, you get options, yeah, you get the standard options, but there's not many to really choose from to feel like, oh, you're gonna have a really good time. Because usually Wuthering Waves like to look at their characters to be like, look at this new character that basically has a world-ending, obliterating ass move in their kit, in their simple animation, and all that sort of stuff. Making you feel like you need to spend money on the game to get every single character. Every single character feels like I must grab them. If I don't grab them, I'm going to basically go ahead and off myself. That's what it feels like a lot of the damn time for me. Genshin, on the other hand, they actually give you 4 stars. Maybe not as enough, honestly, but when it comes down to it, they give you 4 stars that actually is like, you know what? This is good. And if you get a 5 star, it's like, you know what? I can skip this one, right? That's how it honestly kind of needs to be fair for a lot of people, right? Like, yes, obviously, when it comes down to Nah Cry, would it be amazing if you got Llama and Flins? Absolutely. But ultimately, do I personally need Llama and Flins? No, not necessarily. Llama was just a throwaway pull for 50 just to see if I could get her or not, because ultimately, that's not where my eyes are mainly focused on, but it'd be nice to have her. Then I didn't get her. I'm like, alright, that's fine. But then Nefer came through. And I'm like, I ain't gonna really pull for her. I can sit here and wait. But then her demo kind of slapped a little too damn hard. And I said, alright, I'm just at 20. I could probably get there. And I pulled. And then, oh, damn, did she come through real quick. And it was nice, right? So ultimately, I don't need this character, sure, but I could pull on them if I want to, right? They're not necessarily having like these crazy ass over the top animations, even though they kind of have theirs in their own way, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to get them and be desperate to pull out my damn wallet or grind the game endlessly trying to get this damn character, because ultimately I could also say, I'm good on this one. I could skip this. Where Wuthering Waves, it don't feel like that shit. Like you need to get every damn character, otherwise your account is bullshit. I could easily sit here and be like, yeah, I don't really need this character for Genshin, and then I can basically wait until the character that I really desperately want comes out and comes through. That's how I was really going to really go for Now Cry. The first 2 patches, we're gonna skip. During comes through, we here for it. Columbina comes through, we here for it. Alice comes through, we here for it. I might not get her. I might not be able to get her because my luck is shit at this point. But you know what? We're gonna try it. And that's just how it basically feels. It feels like you can skip in this game and not feel like you're about to crash out. Wuthering Waves, if I was literally playing that and that was the first gacha game that really come out and that's how the game really was, I would lose my mind over how much bullshit I have to do just to get a character. Much less, I feel like there's a lot of BS in the air anytime when I don't get the damn character, right? Zenless, at the same time, when it comes down to it, makes you lose a character as well. And a lot of times, I don't really get the character I'm really looking for, and you know, that's just how it is. But oftentimes, I'm still getting rewarded to a point where it's like, alright, we're getting a lot of ridiculous ass currency, so you know what? It makes up for not getting that character, and I can get them on the second go if I got the chance to. And that's just how it is for me. To be honest, the only character in Wuthering Waves I feel like so far that felt like yeah, I could skip this one has been Cantarella and Augusta. That is literally the only 2 characters, right? That's the only damn 2. Outside of that, I feel like if you get any other character that's a loss, you effed up someone. But wishing and character animations and stuff like that aside, that's not the only reason why I wanted to talk about this again. I wanted to talk about it from a story perspective as well, right? And this is going to go into a lot of different territories, so let's see if I could try to make sense of it, right? I was watching Glakio basically talk about how he don't like the Traveler and how he compared it to Rover, basically being the guardian of all gacha characters of all things, and while Traveler is basically just water boy, essentially, and that's what it feels like, you know? And that's kind of how he described it, and went on different many tangents and stuff like that too. Like, I could easily sit here and just be like, man, F this guy's opinion, what the hell does he know? But essentially, I sat there and watched, and while I didn't agree with a lot of the take, I still sat there and watched just because I wanted to know through the eyes of someone else, what the hell do they think truly, and if this is what they think, if it's not engagement farming or rage baiting and stuff like that, if that's how they think, then I got some other ways to kind of spin around about this that I do want to talk about it, right? First of all, Traveler versus Rover. Both characters are fine. Both characters are fine in their respective roles of who they are, and that's just how it is. While I don't necessarily care too much for the self-insert of Traveler at times, I don't like overly cool characters like Rover tries to make themselves out to be, right? There is plenty of times where I feel like a character absolutely just is in this world, right? Where he just does everything, do everything for everybody, and essentially is trying to lead an absolute charge of what's going on and basically defy reality and the plot itself trying to get cool things to happen. I feel like that's a stretch of a character. I feel like sometimes when characters just straight up win every single time, or at least they don't ever look weak doing anything, I feel like that's a downfall that needs to happen for that character. Like, not in terms of, oh, the game needs to crash or anything, but I need to see a character shake up when it comes down to it. There is going to be a point in the story where Wuthering Waves is going to straight up show you that, yes, Rover is going to get his ass kicked. Yes, there's going to be a moment where an absolute hella big loss is coming their way and ain't nobody ready for it. And it's going to be a well-deserved loss at the end of the day when that damn time comes. Now, I'm not going to get on the case of Wuwas too much because this game is still fairly new. It's been around for like, what, 2 years or so now? So it's not necessarily wet its wings yet. It hasn't really gotten itself out there. Now, Genshin, on the other hand, Traveler kind of just sits there, but that's kind of basically the damn point of him. He wasn't wanting to come to the vat, just because, oh, new world to kind of come through, that's really cool. That's not what he came here for. He basically was forced into this situation, and he wants to get the hell up out of here. If you haven't noticed, that's kind of his whole mission this entire damn time. Get the sibling, find the ship, get the hell up out of here. Even though we just learned about the ship literally like few months ago, but still, that's the damn point. Essentially, his ass in Inazuma when we first got there with the whole thing with Ayaka talking about something, hey, can you help join the war and all this stuff? Traveler's first response was, I want to get the hell up out of here. I have no business trying to be here. Nah, cry. We get here, but the only reason why we're even wanting to, really look around Not Cry for the most part is because our spaceship landed here. Because if we don't necessarily, save this place from Rerir or the Abyss or whatever bullshit trying to harm Not Cry, we lose the chance to find the spaceship and any clues attached to it. So we need to kind of do this, and that's a personal quest for the Traveler. Hell, they had a selfish moment when they tried to, chill with the fake ass version of their sibling, and then basically went out to try to get the Moon Arrow for themselves. They have selfish ass tendencies. They have things about themselves that they don't necessarily, really showcase that hard, but when they do, they absolutely can showcase the selfishness of that character. They was not meant to really, be here. In fact, I believe in the lore, they was not even planning to come to the vat at all. I think they was going to pass it over, but something or some reason they got here, pulled by the gods or something like that, and essentially got brought here for X reason. And that's the reason why they're just kind of here. And that's just what we know, right? So ultimately, they're forced into a situation. They don't want to be here to the highest extent, and they want to dip off as soon as possible. Yes, obviously, they ain't gonna leave people in just straight up peril. They ain't gonna sit here and just, let the people that they made over time with as friends and whatever just get cooked in absolute oblivion. Especially, I would imagine at this standpoint. But even at this standpoint, there's still some of that tendencies. Like, hell, anytime he leaves a nation, he tries to dip out without telling anybody. Like, I'm pretty sure that tells you that, yeah, they don't want to be here any longer than they have to. And that's something that is kind of messed up, but also at the same time, I get it. What the hell does this world have to do with me when I travel to multiple different effing worlds? So obviously, Rover wants to, embrace the story, embrace who he is, while Traveler is like, I don't really care to be here. I'm just trying to get the hell up out of here and get my sibling back. That's literally it. And you know what? I respect that sort of writing. I respect that shit that they're not trying to make Traveler be this overachiever, overly badass sort of character. Should he be more badass with the elements? Yes, absolutely, I do agree. But should he be taking over the role of, I am the man of Tibet now? No, he really shouldn't be. He's not here for that, and that's okay. Right? Like, I'm gonna keep it so damn serious. It is fine to have a story where two characters that are main characters basically come through and do different things instead of try to follow the other character footsteps and what is actually the more appealing thing for people, even though the calm and, laid back sort of approach is actually okay. Like, the Traveler isn't Mr. Genshin Impact, the people are. Hell, when it comes down to the ending of the story, if the power of friendship is used as a plot point to save everybody's asses, don't be surprised when that is the whole damn point of the damn story that we have seen, or at least from a wider angle that you can look at. Everybody in Tibet fighting together, being together, chilling together, and just being a part of these nations, their culture, and all that sort of stuff. And you mean to tell me that the power of friendship don't effing win at the end of that? How is that not a clear, obvious sign that that's probably going to happen? Rover, on the other hand, feels like Mr. Everyman. I get bitches. I beat ass. I basically do whatever the hell I want to because I'm Rover. And that's how it kind of feels like, at least from a fandom perspective, and even somewhat of the game, right? It feels like we're looking at Kingdom Hearts 1. Riku on the Wuthering Waves side, and Traveler is on the Sora side. Essentially, man's like, what your weak ass gonna do with that bitch ass heart? Ain't nobody got time for that shit. And then freaking Sora's like, yeah, I don't need that shit, cause you know what? My friends are my power. I have the heart. And gets the Keyblade back to its rightful owner. Yes, I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 1. What's good? And yes, I'm also watching Choga Conroy. That's had nothing to do with this, but I'd like to mention that. But my point is, though, again, yes, they're two main characters, but their journeys can be different, and that's okay. People want Traveler to lose desperately so damn hard, but you don't realize you don't really need that. And plus, it kind of already happened when it comes down to it. People were pissed the time it did happen when it comes down to it, because they want to see Traveler actually effing win by themselves and do something, right? They only really had a victory, like maybe by themselves, one damn time in the entire story, and they wanted to see Traveler actually wash and do the dishes and actually clean this shit up, right? The one time they lost was with Arlecchino, and very much you could very much say, yeah, that's not a real loss. It wasn't major. It went back to normal and all that sort of stuff. Boo, boo you, boo everything you stand for. But that's the whole thing. People were pissed that Traveler got washed. People were upset. You're like, oh my gosh, Traveler can't win a freaking fight. Freaking fight? Fucking fight, because you two want to, you know, try to call me like a child or whatever. What the hell? But anyway, essentially, yeah, they lost that fight. And you know what? People were pissed about that. Go back and look and see how everybody was kind of reacting to it from like a wider perspective of it. And people were pissed that Traveler lost, because like, you're the main character. Why are you losing? And my ass the entire time was like, yes, I'm glad he lost. This is peak. This is what I want to see. I want to see Traveler lose. And the reason why for this is because he hadn't had any good reason to win, right? In story, he has not trained. He has not done anything, or she, one of the two, whatever the hell you pick. They have not basically trained at all in their time of being in Tibet. Yes, fighting basic ass villagers, whatever, but they haven't truly ever, like, trained properly. So of course, I think it makes sense that yes, Traveler loses to Arlecchino, because why the hell could they win? How the hell would that be possible? That wouldn't normally be possible. There's no reason for him to actually really win, you know? And even when you say, but what about all the fights that he had? Ultimately, it was a group effort for most of the damn fights. Yes, he was doing stuff, but at the same time, it's a group effing effort. And yeah, they probably already had combat abilities way before they even got to whatever point in the story that they got to, essentially, right? It was only when Skirk entered the damn picture, where she decided to help train us, essentially, to get better, did we actually improve and actually start winning fights. Do you think the very same Traveler that people were hyped up to fight Arlecchino with could have watched, or at least washed Rarier like it ain't nothing? Hell no. He will be dead, or she will be dead, or need to get bailed out in some shape and form. Our Traveler now, after going through the skirt training, yes, they can absolutely hold their own against Rarier for at least a little while. They can absolutely beat ass most of the challenges in Tibet at this point. If they lose to anything less, I feel like that's a cop-out. I feel like that's bullshit and that's bad writing. But when it comes down to it, yes, they actually had more of ideas of what to do against the Rarier fight when they had to team up with Flynn's. Yes, they were able to hold back the Kuvaki cannon. Even if it was with flints, they could also do their parts to hold that shit back. Yeah, they know how to operate certain different things now because of that damn training with Skirt. That's what I was looking for the entire effing time. I didn't want to see Traveler win. I wanted to see Traveler improve. That's what we got with the Skirt Quest, and I am so glad that they did that, because now there is dead ass no reason why they should be losing in a super ultra weak ass manner ever again. And when it comes down to Rarier and trying to beat them themselves, sure they can lose there. It is not stated that the Traveler can sit here and challenge the world just yet. They cannot. Rarier can with that world-shattering abyssal power. They're gonna get absolutely cooked if they try to fight one-on-one. But ultimately, we can still build up to that. We can get them to that point, and that's fantastic. Rover, on the other hand, didn't have any training that we have truly ever really seen. He kind of just had cool hands for the sake of having cool hands, and that's just ultimately how it was. Where he just does cool shit just to do cool shit, and beat ass where he wants to beat ass, and do all the stuff that he wants to do without any sort of knowledge of like, alright, do we see him train? No, he just does this? Okay then. Where a Traveler, we actually get to see him improve. We actually get to see it. Even if it took a long time to get to this point, I would rather still have it to be this damn way, where they had to have a team effort, or rather when they, have to do some type of training to get better or something like that. It's nice to see. And another thing is to kind of add to like the story of just everything, how everything kind of goes before when it comes down to between, Wuthering Waves and Genshin as well. I do like the fact that Traveler does take a step back. It lets other characters shine. Why does everything have to be about Traveler, right? It doesn't have to be. Rover is the type of person that says, you know what, I can do stuff because plot reasons. That's my reason as to why, even though he literally caused a lot of the shit that went down in the first damn place. Like for Lova, for example, she didn't have to go down that path, but because homeboy over here at like, just I'm gonna go on my time or whatever and forget about Frolova for whatever reason, what possibly could be the reason to forget her like that and kill her like that, like it ain't nothing. We don't know, and it's absolutely one of the big reasons why I don't like Rover, honestly. Which is good character writing, by the way. I just need to mention that. It's good character writing. And hell, I'll even add this, it's going to be even more sweeter when the character of Rover ends up failing and they can't necessarily win. If they never do that, that's terrible. That's actually terrible writing. It gives me the sense of High School DxD, where Issei is basically the one to say the day all the time that none of the girls can actually do anything unless Issei gets the final hit in and all that sort of stuff, and that's essentially what it feels like with Rover. Like, oh yeah, all these fine females, step aside as I do my manly, cool female or male character, MC things, and have all the female characters start wetting their panties. Like, that's essentially what we get with Rover a lot of damn time, and Traveler is not like that. A lot of times I don't really see how the harem sort of thing kind of comes into play, unless it's like a few characters like Ayaka maybe, or essentially like a Yoimiya maybe, a Nilu perhaps, right? Just like a few characters I could imagine, but not the whole entire cast falls under their damn weight of their heels because they can't take it anymore like Wuwa does. Because I was in a very similar point back when Genshin started, and we kind of looked really at everything until Fontaine, and I was like, what's the point of learning about this world and its people? Why do we care about, everything that's going on to that with these random ass people, when there's literal gods that can take each and every one of these people down in the abyss that could kill everybody? Why do we care about the every man and every woman of this damn planet? But ultimately, because ultimately for a long time I was like, hell yeah, we for Traveler, we out here wanting to explore that story. Why the hell are you here, Shangling? No one gives a damn about your bitch ass cooking. And essentially that's how it was for a long time until Fontaine, and then I realized maybe the story isn't about Traveler. Maybe the story is about the people that it's around, the culture, the nation, and stuff like that. And the more I accepted that that was it, the more I started to really enjoy the other characters and stop being on a ultra glaze fest that yes, Lamine is the best woman in the entire game. No, she's hot, I'd F, but that's about it when it comes down to it so far. Because there's things about her that I'm starting to realize, wow, I don't really like that about you. And that's kind of just how it is now. Again, friends are the power here. Rover gonna have to learn that at some damn point, right? I feel like he's gonna have to understand that even more deeper than anything before. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, if I'm Rover, I don't trust a damn person when it comes down to it, unless they have fully committed to show me that they're my ally, because ultimately, I lost my memories. I effed up a lot of things in this world. I don't know what is real at this point. So that's just how it is when it comes to my thinking of the character. Which now brings in the last part of this conversation that I really want to jump into because it's just getting too damn long, which is the seriousness and tone of both games. Right? Both games have pretty much, I would say, a serious plot point of what's going on in levels of ways that can be a real big deal for each characters and each players and all the people that follow the story. Right? However, I will definitely say I know Rover's mad tired. I know he is tired of having a constant world-ending threat in each and every single patch of Wuthering Waves as it continues on, right? At least Traveler get a break every now and again. But when it comes down to just, Rover kind of taking a chill moment, they don't get that. They don't feel like they get that for a long period of time. This is something I also had to come to, a realization in storytelling in general, right? Because ultimately, when I look at something like Wuthering Waves and how every patch feels like a world-ending disaster level threat, that shit's so tiring. That shit is so not boring. It's obviously exciting, but it's so tiring that damn, we going through another thread? What the hell else? Right? And it gets so exhausting at a point that literally everything feel like it hinges on this one thing and all that sort of stuff. At least the Archon quest be like, yeah, the Archon quest is gonna go ham and this shit goes through and we gotta go through this for multiple patches. But then once it's over, cool down period. We get to see everybody having fun, having a chill time. People hate those patches, but I get why they're necessary. You need characters to breathe so they can develop even more. This ain't just about Traveler, this is about people around Traveler as well. In Wuthering Waves, it feels like the events are just sideshow things that you could just do that really doesn't feel like it amounts to much of anything. While Genshin feels like, oh, you could do the events and they feel like they're actually, pretty damn good. My only complaint about Genshin is that they should have replayable quests or things that you could do to kind of look at the quest back again when it comes down to it, because I think it's ridiculous that you can't replay the quest. So there you go, my complaint on Genshin side. But when it comes down to it though, it's nice to get a breather. I'm gonna be absolutely honest, and I'll use Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as a good ass example. I thought for a lot of the game, what the hell are we doing? Because essentially, we're trying to go on this, world land kind of going adventure and all this sort of stuff, trying to find Sephiroth, trying to stop him, get the black materia so he doesn't get it, and all that sort of stuff, right? Why the hell are we out here at a Chocobo ranch trying to F around with a Chocobo, have fun? Why are we out here, like at Costa del Sol, going on a beach trying to see some Tifa titties? Like, why are we out here at the Golden Saucer having fun playing a bunch of minigames? Aren't we supposed to go kill Sephiroth? Ain't we supposed to go stop that dude? Why the hell are we out here doing all this stupid stuff that don't matter? Why are we sitting here playing stupid ass Queen's Blood when it comes down to it? That was my first impression when it comes down to getting exposed to all this. I don't care about Queen's Blood. I want to stop Sephiroth. Why are you forcing me to play this bitch ass Queen's Blood game? I don't get it. And I very much skipped that shit because I said, F it, I want to lose on purpose. I want to get to the main part where it actually matters. Why are we going to Costa del Sol and being on some stupid shit? I hate this shit. That's essentially what my vibe was the entire damn time, because it felt like a slowdown in the story so damn much. But those slow moments help characters breathe, help them develop more as characters while nothing is going on, and are absolutely necessary plot devices that tells you more about the characters and make you feel more about the characters. The reason why something like a Final Fantasy 16 doesn't do well in my opinion of characters is solely because it's about this very dark, terrible ass world, and we gotta basically destroy all the crystals and no fun in between. No mini games in the game, no fun jokes or anything like that to a high ass extent of the game. None of that. It's just serious, serious, serious. Boss fight fiesta. That's all you get in FF16, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all, right? And that's just how it is. And this is where my personal liking of stories in games kind of come into play. I would never really willingly say, oh yeah, Dark Souls genre, my favorite shit. Because it's so damn serious all the damn time. Things like Wuthering Waves, with how it is, I don't like it at all because of how serious the story has to constantly be. Why Genshin gets the pass for me? Because characters get a chance to effing breathe. We get to hear about characters and what they actually feel like in certain slow moments. We actually get to see that. Kingdom Hearts is a good example. Yes, you have Xehanort about to destroy the world, but hey, we can have fun in these Disney worlds and have a good ass time doing the cha-cha slide. It's amazing what a slow moment can do. People oftentimes in anime hate the shit out of the beach episodes, but yet sometimes those slow ass beach episodes or those crazy ass episodes where nothing happens give you character development. They give you moments where a clarity of a character, how they think, how they are. You need those slow moments because you gotta realize they're characters. Why not try to make them more human and make them breathe a little and have fun and do the things that they should be able to do like we want to do? And that's just how it is. People really shouldn't look at this stuff in a way where it's like, oh, the story is so damn slow. Oh, I hate this shit. You should be looking at it this way as to, oh, we're going to learn more about the characters, I guess. And that's just ultimately how it is, right? So each world you get to go through in Kingdom Hearts, you get to have a chill time and learn about which Disney character you're trying to help and more about their mindset and stuff like that. And maybe more about the main cast mindset. Same thing with Genshin, you know? You have those slow moments when it comes down to certain patches, and then when it comes down to you get to learn more about the characters that lives in this planet, right? Like, remember the whole damn thing with Kave's whole event, with all that sort of stuff come through? You might wanted to learn about Kave, but the story in the main quest never gives you the time. That's why the event was there, to kind of give you time to really explore Kave's character, to see how much of a good boy he actually is. He's a lit homie, right? And that's just how it kind of goes. That's why the character story quest was kind of a thing in Genshin as well, right? They fused it together nicely in Cry finally, but ultimately, that's why they were kind of there, to give you more insight about the character, because there was no other way in time to kind of do so. Now they started to figure it out, and now we get to learn that, oh, Dory isn't an asshole that's rich and mocks people for prices and scam them, and she actually has a heart of gold, kinda? Yeah, Dory's a good person. I'm surprised people, kind of didn't really think she was all that bad. I mean, she works with Alice, so I assume she has to be some level of good. But the way they did it with the recent story quest really just shows you that, yeah, we're going into her backstory, we're going into her past and all this sort of stuff and how she actually is and things like that. She says she's not a good person, but she actually kind of is. Maybe not too good, but she still will do the right things and not necessarily be on bullshit like, an evil person or anything like that. And I love that. To me, that was a big ass highlight of Luna 2 when it came down to the story. Was that, oh, we get to get Dory actually kind of talk about stuff and actually kind of, display things that is not Mora and care about people's lives at stake and stuff like that. She just puts herself that way because obviously that's how she is. She's a businesswoman. But deep down, she does care about people and stuff like that. But she won't ever really show it. And that's why she tells us not to worry about trying to figure out who she is. And into Wuthering Waves' defense, it does do that too. Like Cardathea on that one boat ride, and I'm pretty sure Cantarella has one too as well, And ultimately, there is moments like that, but it's either ends up turning into something serious real quick right after that, or it ends up just straight up being like, oh, a Riz Fest. How can I suck Rover's dick? Absolutely, yes. And that's what it feels like a lot of the damn time, where it doesn't feel like that's the case for most of the time in Genshin story. One point that I'm trying to get at with this entire video is just basically the fact that you have these characters kind of go through their own stories, and basically these games trying to tell their own thing, and I think that's fine for whatever pacing that they decide to do. Gameplay and all that other stuff, I think is absolutely true, that yes, Genshin is very much an underachiever. They basically give you something and then take it away from you like it ain't nothing. They basically give you a backhand compliment of a patch update to optimize the game and stuff, and it just basically is like, yeah, you're getting this, but we're also going to add this harder extra step that wasn't necessary to be there. And that's just how it kind of operates, where most other games don't really do that, and that's just one big thing that I would absolutely agree with when it comes down to it. They are underachievers. They achieve goals, but then give you a backhanded compliment like a slap in the face, like, oh yeah, you wanted this cake? Sure, now eat it, you fat bitch, and slaps you across the face. That essentially is what Genshin does, while other games don't feel like they do that to a high extent. I think personally both ways of how these stories try to be, I think they're both a correct way of how they can go about their own thing. I feel like when people start comparing the stories and telling which one is better, that's when you start souring for yourself. Why, honestly, I get Glaive Kyo's whole take on why Wuthering Waves can be better and why it could be a better game. I don't necessarily agree with it because, I feel like Wuthering Waves is for Wuthering Waves. Genshin is for Genshin, and that is just how it is. I'm not saying any of this to disrespect anybody's take or anybody's feelings towards a particular game. I'm just saying that both games could do things of their own, and I think that's perfectly fine. If people were to realize this take a lot more, we wouldn't have gacha tribalism, we wouldn't have gacha wars so much constantly. If people could basically stop comparing for 5 effing seconds, we would actually have peace on this planet, but because people do it for whatever reason possible, for cheap ass engagement or whatever the reason might be, I don't care. Essentially, that's the reason why things like this exist. And I don't just say this as a fan of, Genshin and someone that does glaze up some of the good ass, fine ass women in WoWa, but I also say this as a person that writes their own story too. I like it when there is crazy, serious shit that happens that challenges the characters and challenges them more ways than one, but also at the same time, let a titty pop out. Let them go ahead have sex on the beach. Let them go ahead and just joke at each character's expenses and stuff like that when it comes down to it, or look like they're the crazy kooky ass characters, because why not? Let the characters breathe, have fun. It's a story. It's something that people can enjoy, get serious into, but also take a laugh at, because why the hell not? It shouldn't be this overall, yes, I am serious story. It should be just a story. People have fun with it. You can critique it if you like to, but don't let the critiquing take over your entire life. And I feel like that's the problem with a lot of online creators when it comes down to it. You look at this shit, you basically critique it to hell, and then you ruin it for yourself because of how much, I don't like the pacing here, I don't like the character here, why is this lolly here, why is this ass out here, like all this sort of stuff. And essentially you ruin it for yourself, what could be fun for you, but ultimately you just ruin it because you critique it too damn much, and then you just don't like it for that reason and stuff like that. There's fine points to critique. Absolutely. I think critiquing is a fine thing to do, and it's a healthy thing to do. However, overly doing it ruins shit for you. I promise you, if you weren't critiquing so damn much of many different things, you would enjoy stuff for what it is. I can always, when a new patch of Genshin comes through, tune my brain off, not think about shit, enjoy the patch for what it is, and say, that was a good ass patch. While, obviously pointing out maybe certain things that doesn't make sense, but I can still sit here and enjoy a patch. But other people, more so, theory crafters too, basically be just like, I can't believe this, they did this here, they didn't mention this, specific thing, we got cut off at the last second, I can't believe this. When it's not really that serious. You're gonna get the answer eventually, just not now, and that's okay, right? We want to know where Rare went after the damn Moon Gate, but we don't know, and that's okay. It's fine, you don't have to worry so damn much. But yeah, I do, and also, and one last thing to, I guess, Wuthering Waves is to sort of side of things, I feel like they're gonna overachieve at a point where they're kind of gonna burn themselves out. I say this as a warning, because ultra achieving things is great, but how long can you maintain that energy? How long can you really keep it going like that? Which is something I feel like, we have to kind of consider. If we're gonna have Wuthering Waves basically barely hanging on to the mobile side of things, of the things that they really want to do because of mobile holding them back, how much of time is gonna pass until they can't really do the shit that they want to do, and then maybe cut mobile in a way where it needs you to upgrade and want people to upgrade to a stronger system? What if they decide to just say F this and it's just kind of, go ham, and then the mobile kind of suffers on things or things like that? Or what if basically at some point in time they go through all this crazy cool stuff, but then they start slowing down again really bad, and maybe leadership changes at Kuro Games? Who really knows? You can only keep going as far as you can for so damn long, and I feel like overachieving ass Wuthering Waves is definitely going to hit that road at some point. I don't know when, but it's going to hit that point at some point in time, and that's not going to be a good thing when it comes down to it. So yeah, just I feel like I could feel that in my spirit that that's gonna basically be something that could happen. I hope not, but it could be. But yeah, I guess it's really all I want to say for this one. Long ass video, I know, but it is something that I just wanted to really sit here and talk about because it's a lot. It is something that I have thought about for a minute. It is something that I basically have been on the brain for to wanting to yap about, and now that it's out, I feel like I got all my Wuthering Waves anger out, honestly. Losing to my damn wishes. How to lose Cardathea, the finest woman that looked like Zelda but not Zelda, and actually won't get you copyright strike by Nintendo head ass. Like, how to lose that? That's crazy. But yeah, again, that's all I want to say for this one, so hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow my socials, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, Kofi and Cash App is available as well. And until next time, OJ, sign off. Have a blessed day.